Three sisters with stories to tell. Books in our hands, we know them well. Flipping pages where dreams dwell. Chapter one, here you go. Turn the light, let the words flow. Laughs and love in every show. Books, sweethearts, we grow.
All right, welcome back to the potentially final episode, but next to last. Maybe we're filming both of them today. Of the Things God Break, Part 7/Part 8 coming. Yeah, it was a great book, I think.
I love you guys. This is just a whole different experience.
We have a rare occasion where we're all together and we're going to get to do this and we get to share our awkwardness in person without time delays. And let's just yes, hope for Thanksgiving. Hope everybody had great Thanksgiving. You'll see this at Christmas. Okay, then I guess we'll jump into it with rapid recap from last week. I'm going to go into a bit more detail than I usually would just because of what happened in last week's episode. But my rapid recap, here we go. After Lyra told Hades that Persephone is in Tartarus, she's back and preparing to go into Hera's lock with Boone. They are stopped by an almost headless Lyra appearing from a rip of time, which is the first time that's happened. Lyra apparently caused a time reset. And unfortunately, it was realized that the point of the time reset moved forwards. Persephone was the last time this had happened when Persephone appeared. Now, when time resets, it's going to go to this moment rather than after 50 years ago. So it happens a little bit, but it's still kind of sketchy. So they wait to go into Hera's lock. They say we need a little bit more time to prepare, and this kind of changes things. This took Lyra on an ice cream date. They talked about what she did to influence the past, and they decide, should we keep doing this or am I causing issues? And Cronus says, since we don't know who's sending the time, it's probably a good idea to just go with it. And then we got Lyra going back to Hades. She watches her take his advice on who to choose as his champion and where to go for that. And then we got Hades' perspective on that whole entire situation. So when we first read the game's God's play and we see Hades go find Lyra, we get what he got. So I'm not going to go through the whole situation because we know what happened, but he was so taken aback by her and immediately like this connection with her, which was very sweet. After Lyra goes there, she immediately gets sucked back up and is with Hades during her time in Poseidon's labor and realizes, oh my God, I should try to save Isabel. And then she proceeds to try to save Isabel 75 times. Before Cronus was like, yeah, you're not going to be able to change that. But you have to learn that lesson the hard way. She gets sucked in again. It was like a triple time warp here. And she's in this weird old cave with Oceanus and finds out that Oceanus has a source inside Tartarus. So, of course, she's already had worries and her wheels are spinning there. It's taken back and she tells Hades, she's like, I don't know, it's like Inception, kind of how these time traps are working. But Hades doesn't think that Oceanus has enough power to do that. But he's going to look into it. Back in Tartarus, Lyra goes down to see AI Hades and AI Demeter and finds out that they actually do have a bit of their creator souls in them. So she feels a little bit better about having that relationship with him because she is really getting her Hades. Then Boone finds her there. The pandemonium comes. They're hiding from the pandemonium and they find Medusa's head in a room. Medusa hates Boone and won't listen to her at all. But Lyra kind of finds out that she has a relationship with Rhea, which is kind of causing some concern, like what's Rhea's piece in all of this? So more concerns there. And then finally they go into Hera's lock, which was kind of confusing overall. But to sum it up, they trapped a narwhal like in their ship with its horn. And then their ship got broken apart and they were launched. They had to get to this lighthouse and touch it. And baby Zeus-looking child was striking lightning everywhere. But Lyra did touch the island underwater and they were taken out of it. So they did make it through Hera's lock. What was that, like 11 or 12 tries, right? They had to read it up so much.
23.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like the 23rd.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of times. So that was not an easy one.
No.
Makes sense why she doesn't usually make it through that one. They make it out though, and then Phoebe wakes Lyra up and takes her to a crack at times. She explains she can feel them sometimes. Lyra walks into it. Boone tries to go with her, and Persephone wants to go, but that doesn't work out. But then she's taking this last one. She's taking back to the night where she and Hades are cuddling in his bed after their first time together during the crucible. And this is when she goes and like super sleuth taps him on the shoulder to wake him up and tells him to break her heart. And that he has to do so she can make it through the Siren Challenge and win the Crucible.
Which you guys were both very upset with in the first Crucible that we finally found out.
Well, they finally
You weren't also in our
I
camp.
was very much like, there's a reason.
but they didn't explain until now.
Until now.
The
Book
end
later.
of the second book. Not just one book later. Like
Yeah, a book and a half.
so yeah. That was part 6, the rapid recap.
It was a big part for sure. Lots of things
There's
happened.
been a lot of moving parts.
Yeah, there was a lot more detail I could have gone into, but yeah, I didn't want to make it more concise for me. They did a bad job. So that's just my
Yeah, blame
Oh,
it
wait.
on it.
There's things that don't get resolved now that we finished the book. So book 3. So
Wow, spoiler alert.
we
we expected it.
Yeah.
But we not
yeah.
Oh, of course.
Each book is really setting up the next.
like Abigail is not gonna give us any kind of peace here.
No.
We knew this from the first.
And the third one's gonna be the final. If that's
That's
the current plan for her.
it's called a trilogy. She could
You're like going straight smart ass there.
like there was no other way to say it. That one
It is called a trilogy, it's true.
So it'll be interesting all the loose ends that we try to tie up.
or she won't and we'll hate her forever.
We'll get into it.
Hope not.
Because I think a lot of what we're gonna talk about is gonna determine like what all has to change.
Yeah, I will tell you right now, if we get to the end of the third book and not everything is fully explained, I'll never read another book
That's bullshit.
by her. Right.
It's
Because I'll just never bury Abigail. That it'll be like, you're on notice. That was a gross one.
yeah, I mean
I like it.
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, we'll jump right into part 7. Let's do it. Sister takes. Ashley, you're
No.
That was me. So we broke it up like we've been doing with the work well. So we have first Zeus's lot is the chapter 82. And in this one, Lyra, if you think back, she's been gone a while. She keeps getting sucked away. And she is jolted back into Tartarus in a random room. And all she can hear when she comes out of that room is screaming. So she's running around trying to find the screaming. And when she finds it, she is shocked, but also not greeted warmly. So she sees that Boone is the source of the screaming because both of his legs are snapped at the femur. There's blood, gold blood everywhere. And it was at 3 of them. 3 of the Titans trying to reset his legs so that
Everybody had a limb.
4 of them. And so that his bones don't heal wrong. And he's like, what's his face? With the backwards feet.
Asbestos?
Asbestos. Because of his God's healing. So they're trying to make sure they get that done. Persephone just knocks him out with like a touch so that he can't feel the pain. And Lyra finally is like, I'm here. And everyone's like, the fuck, where'd you come from? And she didn't realize she was gone a week. It felt like a day to her.
Mm-hmm.
And Persephone is getting really bitchy. She doesn't ever act like this. She's always sunshine and flowers, but she's blaming Lyra for being gone and that it's her fault. Boone got injured. She's mad at her for messing with time. And she says she broke a good man. And then Lyra's like put in timeout in the hallway, which she's like in her feelings about because this is how she's lived her whole life. It's like it's an opposite.
She should be in her feelings. She yelled at her to basically get the fuck out and slam the door in her face.
Yeah, just to hammer home. Persephone was like ruthless. And like this is your fault. Like,
I wish I could have.
I'm not team Persephone. I'm not team Persephone.
No.
No.
Because like I wanted you guys to see the notes I wrote on that chapter, like the tiny little just.
Oh,
Where are your notes?
I don't know where I put my book. I think it's in my suitcase.
okay. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely was like, okay, this is abnormal behavior, thinking like while she was gone, Persephone and Boone's relationship kind of solidified. So Persephone was feeling
Territorial.
like more like in panic, like my love
I mean,
is dying.
I'm kind of like upset that we didn't see that transpire, and I hope we get that maybe in the third book.
I was thinking the same.
It was just kind of a
We have 2 whole sections.
no, but but before this, we did not see the transition from Boone and like not even having anything to do with Persephone to her being like, oh
Yeah.
like, look at him, nobody touch him.
But we also find out why.
I don't remember that. So
Yeah. I guess a little bit. But I agree.
in real life,
Because I've been saying that it's 400 pages. I've been like, there's something there.
Yeah.
Maybe she'll do a spin-off after the third book. She'll go through his perspective. I don't know.
Boone was successful in opening Zeus's lock, apparently, but barely made it. She said that he had to drag his way through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in that state, essentially.
Yeah.
He beat it.
It's like he fell down a
Broken.
cliff or something.
Yeah. And then he never went over the explanation.
I think it's in the next. Whenever he wakes up.
Yeah, but Persephone says, unless Boone asks for you, you are barred from entering this realm. Even then, I'm not sure I'll say yes.
You know, which is kind of, it's extra bitchy because Boone's the one that wouldn't let Persephone in the room.
Right.
He kicked her out of the Cool Kids Club, and it wasn't Lyra. Lyra would have let her in.
And we haven't seen Boone even accept Persephone on that level
Right.
yet.
So it's like,
Like he barely even tolerates like her existence.
Exactly.
Like we know he's fighting the sexual tension, and that's a bigger part of it. But he's definitely like
he's listening to the right brain.
But when I ended that chapter, that's when I sent you guys that picture of the, you know, that said, who the fuck does this bitch think she is? Like,
I also was like, she was so intent on like, who were you with, Hades? Like, why did it matter? She didn't choose. In this moment, Lyra did not choose where she went. She has no control over how long she's gone. Like, she's never been in a situation where she has to go find a time properly, find her at the right moment.
Exactly.
Everything's placed over reason.
And you can't run from them. So yeah, it was a jarring chapter for sure with her attitude.
Poor Lyra, time out in the hallway.
And then she's just like, this is true. Finally, someone said it.
And
my fault.
83, as soon as Ashley got this, she like, it's called a snake in the grass. And we get a text from Ashley with like sticky notes. Persephone.
I'm just saying.
Yeah,
you really have it out for her.
I don't like her. Which is just so crazy.
But you like their story in Greek mythology, which is a struggle for you.
Yeah.
So the next chapter is a snake in the grass. And in this chapter, Kronos, like all the other times are piling up, Kronos joins Lyra outside Boone's door. Another reason we love Kronos. When they finally get to talking, she shares her theory about Oceanus. It's awkwardly the first thing they say to each other. And her time seeing him. And then they discuss what the breadth of that glamour would have to be, that it would have to be all of the gods from all of the pantheons, which we've talked about before. He's like, I've been doing this for millennia. I've gone through all these theories before, but I'm going to help you find the answers.
And he did say, like, it would have to be multiple, like, through all of his existence, there's not anybody of that power still in existence.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't bring up Gaia, but I think she's dead, which they allude to later.
5 comments about that one.
Yeah.
Sure.
But he says it would take multiple people, like, actively checking because they're all in different, like, sects, essentially.
Mm-hmm. But, like, that was the gist of that one.
Yeah, sure.
Still the bloody traitor. I curse his name. And she's like, funny you said that because he knows you're doing. He knows you're cursing his name. So that's, we learned in the last one that Rhea talks to Medusa. Medusa got there the same way Persephone did, which is a mystery. So now we're like, is Rhea involved? Does he know? Fates.
Still nervous about her a little bit.
Me too.
She reminds me
that does not get wrapped up.
Yeah, she reminds me of the grandma that cooks Hansel and Gretel.
Come into my cabin. I have candy.
You just want to hug her, and that's like
oven. Ignore the burners. It's a bed. Okay, when we get there, okay, chapter 84, third time's the charm. Lyra's minding her business, and Persephone's like, get in here, pulls her into the room. Because there's a timer of Kraken time, whatever, hovering over Boone. And she's like terrified that Boone's going to get sucked in there in his state. Because what would he do? Like be lying broken, stuck there. And so she wants her to take care of it. Lyra at this point notices like, this is not the right Persephone. There's something wrong here.
She says, Persephone, grab her arm, turn roughly toward me. Who got to you?
Yes. And so like, I think our safe assumption there was like, she sees like a glamour, which was weird because Persephone was already glamored. So I'm curious what that would look like. But she sees another glamour. And as she's trying to call her out on it, she's being a huge bitch. She cuts her off and shoves her into the time crack. And she says, it's better without you around anyway. And Lyra is taken to Olympus. It's like triple times. So she was there during the Crucible. She was taken back to see Hades after Athena's labor. And now she's like even farther away spectator in the same situation right after Athena's labor. And she gets into that conversation with Hades again. He's angry with her for like all the time manipulations and like how she comes and goes. And she tries to reassure him, like, I'm gonna be your queen. Like, this is what you have to do. You have to follow this. And then they establish a way to make sure that she's not an imposter, which is a concern because he brings back that, like, what if you're glamored? How do I know if you're glamored?
Yeah.
And it's her taste. He finds her thumbprint in a kiss, essentially. I think that's why that one's called Third Time the Charm. Like, this is the third time she went back there, and maybe the right is all that's going to come from it.
She struggles because he's like, she's like, you'll be my queen or whatnot. And he's like, forever. And obviously she's in Tartarus. She's just like, can't tell him that. So she really struggles with, okay,
And how do I lie to you without
I
lying to you?
haven't seen that far.
It's very much like, sure. That's
Yeah.
like she has her fingers crossed. Yeah. But he's like, we still have nothing. If you can't see that far out, like, it's not enough to convince me. Yeah. And then she talks about the glamours again. There's a being out there who can glamour the gods the way I told you. It's still true. And I don't think it's in the show.
Well, and then he asks her, what's the first thing you said to me the night when I stopped you from throwing the rockets into symbol? Well, they're trying to figure out what the way you can feel good about I am who I didn't say I am.
I'm afraid one of us shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
So that interaction's great. She's that, then they're like, they question all of it. But the kiss, yeah.
And then she's like, finally, because she, in the first book, at least, she was very much like, is he just doing this to play with me? And she's finally like, how did I ever doubt him? Like, I can finally see, like, he could not fake.
I only had to like 3 times to figure it out.
Yeah. And just from the beginning there, like in the next chapter, I guess, we get to see his turmoil. Like, he did not want to put her in there. Like, her whole time, it's like, he doesn't care about me. Like, when she's in the crucible, he is using me as a pawn. And it was nice to see that, to reassure that that was not the case.
It's the written equivalent to how women try to fix men.
Except normally it's true.
But this is why they do it, because they read this and they're like, what if the one in
Right. And I signed up for this section, but I got chapter 85. About damn time. About damn time. I'm sorry about my voice.
It is at least in his perspective, which we love.
Yes, but still,
we should mark this moment and let's see at the end of this, like if we can do to see the difference in her cheek colors.
you can be brief. But yeah,
They do it.
we get when we get Hades' perspective, which is what Hannah said, like it's a Hades chapter of their whole interaction. But then they like after the kiss it led to more. And like it's more of like, I've loved you for so long, I've waited for you for so long, and like maybe I've like this is finally it. I get to keep you. Then we get a scene, and
You literally have one bullet point on this sentence. 1.5
And you
lines.
were giving me shit last time I tried to skip through this spicy scene.
well, I just didn't know what to write down. Like he held her arms up over her head. He's very much like,
So amazing that they decided to oath themselves.
yeah, okay, that was very important. I didn't write that down.
I know. I saw you.
Okay, let me go back. So, I've wanted you all my life, loved you for I think at least half as long. I'm not even sure when the loving started. It crept on me between your sporadic, confusing as fuck visits. And I think your curse doesn't work on me because I was already half in love with you the day you tried to throw a rock at Zeus's temple. And now you're here in the present and not disappearing for centuries at a time. But I can't. And he's like, I can't have you. Yeah. So he's still like, you're not. Yes. Yeah. Da, 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 da. I've earned eternity with you. Da, 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 da.
Well, and he's like, about the waiting and all the time because she's just popping in and out of his life. He's like, I'd get down on my knees to even Zeus if it meant the waiting was over.
That stands for them.
Yeah.
Yes. He's not going to get on his knees.
Mhm.
She thanks him for waiting and falling in love with her. That was very nice. And trusting her and enduring her. Enduring. He did have to endure.
I did. I was gonna say, like, she's very self-deprecating, but then I didn't because it was valid.
Yeah.
All I can promise is my heart, no matter where or when I am, and nothing, not time, not death, not the heavens or the hells, not even the fates can take it away from you.
She said, or he says, maybe that's why I love her so much because she reflects my kingdom, heavens and hells, and my kingdom reflects me.
Every queen should be worshipped. Now spread your lights. Or read a quote. So there we go.
Wow.
This is looking like, so that's what stars look like.
I would not be mad if a man said that to me.
I don't know that I can argue it. It depends on the situation. If I could take the man seriously, then
Yeah.
okay.
They're like, I want everything. And she's like, only in exchange for you, all of you, for all of me. And he says, my heart goes from dead to exploding with elation.
And that's when they snaps his fingers as a gold and glittering ribbon made entirely of light winding around them. While they're doing it, how do you focus on all of this? No, they're doing a lot at the same time. I'm reading and I'm like, where's everything? I hate is king of the underworld and god of death. Bind myself to you, lyric here as all of me for eternity.
And then she does the same.
I feel like she was hesitant about it a little bit. No.
I was
So
starting.
she says only if you wish it.
Yeah, I was starting to wonder if she was going to like say anything in return.
I mean, I could understand it, her hesitation because she's currently.
Yeah, she doesn't.
She knows she's worried. And she's also worried about like state
going on.
Yeah, I think it's going to play out the way she wants him to.
She doesn't want to bind him to her. She's gonna.
She does say, "How's his little bit?" She makes him nervous because for eternity, even should we be parted, and he's like, wait." In response to that, we'll find a way. Don't worry. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, the ribbon tightened, and he does say, "I believe you."
Yeah. So now
Rapture. She's
Hold on, my star.
he does like to
that I would
hold on.
not take serious. That's
Yeah.
hold on. Whoa, now.
I mean, maybe from TVs and like you're right. Not a fucking Bronco. Like the horse at Joe Bob's, or right, is always called. You know, or not all horse at Joe Bob's.
No, Joe Bob's.
Well, okay, there's this bar with not like a mechanical bull, but it just goes up and it vibrates at the same time, which is a surprise. And it's like
Country music bar.
Yeah.
Word type.
so you get expressions of everybody because you're not expecting the vibration between your legs, and you're also being launched. It's anyways. It's a good time. I do.
No.
And it's starting.
I actually was looking for them. I brought y'all flags.
So yeah, I know where they're in your room or your old room. There. Yeah.
Somewhere. Okay, chapter 86. After a time when it was magic. So they wake up in bed together and Lyra came. We stopped the maybe. Restart it. Yeah. Moving on to chapter 86, a time when it was magic. They wake up in bed and the first thing Lyra is seeing is their new bond. She can see it like she can see glamours, right? And she was surprised by that. And then she's kind of like, I hope this is fine because I like this future version of myself and blah, blah, blah. And then Katie's asking for more info and and she's like, well, this glamour in her, this tower is new. So she's still figuring it out. She's surprised that she can see it. So maybe it's not just glamours, it's just anything that is there that's not there, I guess. It's what we're finding out. So he's kind of pressing her for information, and Lyra's like, I can't tell you anything. And he's like, I get it. You don't want to mess up, obviously, your future game. You don't want to mess anything up to get there. And then he says, I can assume that my father's dead because only he has the control over time. You do. Which, yes. And so she's kind of taken aback by that, like, oh gosh, she doesn't know. You know, he still has these bad taste feelings about his dad. She obviously has a different feeling for him, but can't express that. So she changes the subject, reiterating what he needs to do. Find Pandora's box, win the crucible, get to she gets to a point where she's telling him who all needs to go down to Tartarus when they put Pandora's box in. But she's trying to make sure he doesn't realize that she's going. So he fights with her about her even being allowed, and she's like, let me make my own choices. He's like, fine. Thanks. And then she brings up Oceanus again, and he's like, yeah, he hasn't left that cave. So we don't really get any new information from that except that he's sticking to where he's at. So maybe that means he's held up there. Fast enough theory that there's a back door or a magic portal. Yeah, I can see y'all. We don't know. But that's really all I got for that chapter. They can teleport. Yeah.
I noticed that one.
I don't know.
But you're not supposed to know until working it out. Yeah.
And I going to someone.
I am interested to see where the her gift actually goes, because it's obviously not goddess of blame. Yeah, she keeps saying it. It's like throwing us off a little bit, but she can see so many things that nobody else can see. Fun,
Like anything, like in that
magical church or something. Like, well, yeah, that makes because that's what they said about the movie, right? It's like different route.
Yeah.
And so maybe all of those bonds exist around like its space at different. But well, I guess they all see the time guys, but they need to get in real life. So I wonder if that's something that will change now that they're out of Tartarus. Like she's only going to see time.
Well, they won't respond to that wait until later to respond.
Oh, not bad. Spoiler alert.
This is the. I know. I didn't. I know that we're talking about that. So I was
We could look that up.
yeah.
No, we weren't talking. We were about to make a faces.
Well, he says that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that whenever I read that,
Yeah. I wanted to just be like, foreshadowing.
I feel like it definitely does feel like.
No, I was already kind of feeling like he wasn't going to for a little while.
Well, you brought it up earlier in one of her first visits about because she was like, does he not realize that he's in Tartarus, not dead?
Yeah, that's a big one. I want to circle back up. Yeah, last episode. At what point do we think all of this? But it is. I like. So at the very end of it, he says, when we marry in the future, don't ever leave me again. He sounds like a little like obsessive girlfriend. I think. And she's like, oh my God, what did I do to him?
Yeah.
That part kind of threw me off a little bit.
What's the female counterpart to stigmatized?
I mean, Taylor Swift calls it tightized.
I mean, if you really think about it, it's like he's in love with her and has only seen her like collectively like maybe like for the hours that she until he meets her to So I get he's like, can you stop fucking leaving me? Can we just be alone? I just want to be home. This is not fun. This is like misery for me.
Aren't my songs better whenever there's a lot of time?
Yes. But he does bring up, this might be the first time, I don't know, but it comes up several times about her hair. Her hair is long, and he's like, this is telling me we get somewhere. Like, you're very far in my future, even if it's
Yeah. And her hair must grow fast.
There. Said, it's amazing. It's on a gymnastic as long.
Yeah.
It's like talked about. She tells it. Yeah. The first girls. So I read one section at a time.
Lips.
What's that? Titanomac. That's the Aztec god. No. He has a left that came since is that when the war with the Titans and the Olympic gods since
I just skipped over it. Not for it.
Yeah, 87.
87, here I go again. So taking my time in the middle of the night, and she's back in Boone's room, and he's still out cold. So then she's remembering right when I left, Persephone, was acting weird, and she had noticed the glamour. So she kind of stalks towards her. Persephone's like, don't hurt me. And she rips the glamour off, and she immediately snaps out of it. And she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. They had a hard time, like, how she went, relatively, how she went from being shoved into a shard of time, like Persephone's weird as fuck, to going and having sex with Hades in a different time, to then being woken back up in there and being, oh yeah, by the way, I was mad about that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I would have.
Criminalization.
Okay, I can't. I would have been like, that bitch Persephone the whole time. I would have been Hades. You'd be like, God knows everything. Time is set.
Penalize everything. I'll survive.
Starts betting him.
No, I agree with that. Like, it's weird she didn't even give us like a bottom line.
Yeah,
that
it's like gone.
We just.
I'm not mad about it.
There's Hades, I would love. Yeah, the rest of the world was falling apart.
I mean, how many times has she been ripped in and out?
No, and I get it.
Came on.
And did break out a little bit. All the situations, like trying to save Isabel and realizing she can't do anything. Yeah, no, for sure.
Where is that? Oh yeah, so she rips off Persephone's glamour, and then she's like, nope, not done. She removes boons, and then he immediately starts feeling, which I found very interesting. That the glamours can affect to that level.
I guess it's stifled. Maybe it stifles all of their powers.
I think, and also how it's phrased, which we find out later. But like, I'm wondering if whoever did it, like, phrased it to, you will not allow.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Powers.
Yeah, you
You
need to turn.
overly, like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's like when the devil writes a contract and you guys look at all the little.
I talked about the glamour a minute ago, and I've heard that I think the original one was just over her eyes.
Main ones, like of all for history, are all just there.
Yeah.
Boone doesn't wake up, but his body starts healing. And then she walks over to Phoebe, and Phoebe was like, what did she say? It's not me, because they're trying to figure out who's glamoring all of these people. And she rips another glamour off Phoebe. And then she like is like horror shocked. She's like, I was wrong. And she's like, drops a bomb. Boone and Lyra are not dated in any way. Which so she was blamed for a long time because that came up a long time. It is what I just goosebumps in theory about that. Trying to figure it out. I think it's without telling. Maybe we can accept that these next 2 episodes might be very spoiler. Okay, so finish the whole book before you watch that.
Yeah. So Boone being somebody needed somebody to go in there with Lyra, right? The fated thing, right? And you need somebody to stick by Lyra. And so whoever that is, maybe they
Are you trying to say maybe Lyra did it?
no, like somebody. I think. Oh,
Chew on it.
Yeah, I'll chew on it. But that like brought up.
Yes.
Well, I know where you're going, and you can say it.
It's fine. Actually,
Okay, finish the chapter now.
Yeah.
that's the end of that chapter. Going into 88, my first point is it means they were wrong that the key to Aphrodite's lock is not Boone and Lyra together. So it's somebody glamoring for them to think that to either kill Boone and make her feel maybe it's for peace. He's pissed off Boone can't stop easily. So or to obviously weaken Lyra because it's Lyra leads to do wow, or to rise happening.
Well, and if
Or-
Boone dies, Hermes gets his thief godhood back.
Yeah. Or to prevent what actually ended up happening.
Freya
Was
a theory. What if Freya going with the fated thing because she knows what Hermes is trying to do, and we turned out to see what it is.
I was actually going to go with what if Kronos
They
was the one?
definitely are going to gather. That was clear, but it's fine. We said spoiler alert.
Also, something Persephone said here. She said, "What did I do on Olympus? I never meant to hurt you, Lyra." Shut up. Remember they were on Olympus here.
Where?
She's eyes growing white. It's when she rips off the flame.
Oh, you're in stuff.
She says, the ants want to cover her mouth, blue eyes blonde with your, what did I do? On Olympus, I never meant to hurt you, Lyra. And it never finishes with that one.
Well, and Lyra must know what she's talking about because she's just like, it's okay.
But I think she like, it was like, I can't, like, I feel like she didn't, she does it a lot. She doesn't pay attention to what somebody was about to say. She just moves on. Like, we linger on shit. And she's like,
She was determined to pull it.
yeah, but she said
was
that, like,
yeah.
on Olympus, I never said nice. So I think that they interacted in the time, like they interacted negatively in a time travel or something. Like there's something in the past that proves somebody doesn't, or that Lyra doesn't know. Yeah. I caught that the first time and I was like, they do that a lot. She does a lot. She's like, I'm gonna put a book that actually exists. What?
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one. I have Marty Beans. I hate it.
I finished this whole roll. I was like, oh my gosh,
You're not gonna end up.
gonna put them out of business.
That was the only other thing I would say.
Yeah. Anything else to mention in that one?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So it was all
Lyra's like she can't get them out because of that. Because everybody's like, oh, Boone's the difference. But you were all glamour to I'll get to get out. That was like the glamour. That's what Lyra is. Yeah. We were all glamour to leave them.
Yeah. I would have said, we were all clever to put distance.
It's an inside job or somebody can get in and out for sure. Somebody can get in one of those phantom rooms that you have a glamour door and they come out and mess with people. We haven't even like really considered that. There's somebody else out there that we don't even know about. It's
all right. 88. What's the question? This is a little bit of fun. So yeah, this means that that the key to Aphrodite's lock is not Boone and Lyra together. And this is one of the things that I will maybe talk later. But Lyra notices Kronos loses hope because maybe he thought, Kronos loses hope. And she says maybe because he thought they had 2 chances of either Boone or her surviving to get out. But I think it's because
I agree.
Yeah.
with what you think it is.
He's like, officially, then that is the new the coffin. This is the only way.
He realizes what the final force has to be.
So somebody does not want them getting out, obviously, with all these flavors. So somebody's really trying to make sure they stay in there. And then all of a sudden, these earthquakes start happening. Really intense more than they happen. The ceiling falls, and they've got like 4 titans holding it up. And then in this moment, Food wakes up and immediately looks at Persephone, like grabs her and kisses her. Finally, but like has no idea what's happening. Like the room is literally falling apart. He's just like, oh my god, my girl, I'm sorry. So they move him out of the room. They all escape, and then Lyra tells Kronos she needs to go talk to Hades. Then Hades is alone because he has given her a lot of answers so far, and they're trying to figure out what is causing these earthquakes. What's happening? So they split off from the group. They go to Hades' archway. And Kronos is like, I'm coming in with you. And she's like, I'm realizing, like, even this version of Hades, like, I just want to be alone with that guy. She knocks on the door. It slides open immediately. Because last time we were at Hades, he tried to cross it immediately. Like, boost. Yeah. So they haven't really talked for a while. And then Hades obviously immediately upset that Kronos is with her. And he's like, what does he know? I'm there. And she's like, he's, here for me. Let's not worry about it. And he's like, no, he can't come in. She's like, well, I'm not coming in without him. And then, of course, the bell goes off. So she's like trying to think of a plan B because she's not going to go in without Kronos because she loves him like a dad, obviously. And Hades is still insisting he cannot come in. And then Lyra sees the pandemonium coming. They hear all these footsteps running, and she looks over there and she can see them. And it describes them as human-shaped light that look like they're screaming. So like tortured souls, essentially. And then Hades finally came. He's like, damn it, Lyra. And lets them both in, and then the door closes it. Anything to add before I keep going? Is this the check when she explains? Oh yeah. When she sees. Yeah, that's about to happen. Okay, I can keep going. So they're inside, and then Lyra's just like, what are they? To Hades. And then Kronos kind of sides eyes her like, you could see them because that wasn't something Hades aware of. And Hades says, I just see light, like energy and glow. And then Kronos is like, they are souls. But he says he can't actually see them, but he's seen where they come from, which is under his mother's tomb, and says he thinks it's the grief from his dad being murdered. That she is just releasing these crazy souls to come and torture everybody because she's insanely mad. What is there to happen? The pandemonium is it is not instantly existent in Tartarus, and it is not something that doesn't speak. It's not something that doesn't like it can't. Or the and it is Odium itself is not about his mom. It's about whoever, or it is because his mom is Gaia. Yeah, and she's gonna try to help those the innocent Avenger. Yeah, that or. Yeah, and Obelisk is a portal. Yeah, for souls. Or other imaginary gifts. Well, they come back and get them all the details.
I think Gaia has influence through her tomb because she's the one that controls flamers and whatnot.
No, never.
That's about what happened that they talk about.
Like, I didn't know she was dead until the mention of
Well, I don't think she is.
So what, maybe that's part of it.
Like
She was a farce.
I think they might have like locked her in there or whatever, but whatever warding and whatnot is not strong enough. She's a primordial.
So now we've theorized that Aphrodite is involved, right? We theorized Aphrodite is definitely seek Aphrodite after the end of the book. And Aphrodite was involved in building Tartarus. Yes. Aphrodite made a way. But none of the other gods fixed it. Yeah. That's it. Because we still don't know Aphrodite's full powers. Because her mama Gaia, and Gaia maybe gave her powers back, and nobody knows that she has it. Snap. It'll take a lady to finish that chapter. No, it's okay. So yeah, Kronos is just like, I can't see them, but I think it's coming from my mom. Hades demands for Kronos to stay at the door and takes Lyra further in his little tomb, and then all of a sudden they're in his memory space. And they don't really explain kind of what it is that I remember. But they're back at the ocean where they first met, like where his family house is. And Lyra asks him, what is causing the earthquake? And he says, me.
to that it's a chapter. So anything to add? No, I think I interrupted many times. Some of the chapters I get so excited. I can't wait until like,
Yeah, I think they are manifestations of her grief at the death of my father. Like her soul shattered, and the shards want everyone else in the world to feel her pain.
but still it's night.
Right.
Is that where you think to? Is that like that? Like when you read this, were you guys thinking that too? That like that once you know the pandemonium has something to do with Gaia.
No, I haven't had any Gaia theories.
Yeah. And I don't know if they're valid at all.
No.
It's
I
just
kind of like it's not even something I.
well, whenever they mentioned the pandemonium, and like, did you make any like when you're reading it like for you?
Now, while I was reading it, it was 2 or 3 chapters later.
I feel like I was very locked in. I was also 2 espresso martinis deep, but I wasn't theorizing a lot.
Honestly, I was kind of panic reading after I found out that you were done and you were like a little bit close, and I was like, I need to finish.
I was just like, so much is going on. What's happening? I didn't have any more brain capacity to think about the underlying thing.
That's what this is for.
Yes.
Okay.
89. And the worst thing you can do is nothing. So yeah, he's explaining that this is his real version. I don't know how to differentiate. Not the AI is, but Hades in the overworld as the one creating Hades. The full souled, 3/4 of the Hades is the one doing it, not him down here. Because she's like, what? He's
She was Tartars. Only would have been funny if you understood what I said at the time. Keep going.
so he's explaining. I get flashes from him, kind of like one of them were explained to her earlier, Demeter. That when they have strong emotions and they're close, the AI soul version gets glimpses of their real version, and he says how he's gotten like flashes of her over time and memories of Lyra. And she's like, oh, I bet that was interesting. All the times that they're together, they're making out or having sex, and he's like, yes, Hades is trying to help you. You are very important to him. So Lyra brings up, is he burning down the world? And he's like, about the prophecy. Lyra tells him that her and Boone are not fated because he was very upset about that.
Yeah.
He was like, what's he say? The hells you are, or something like that out of nowhere. Which she sees him like relax and like take a deep breath. Like he's obviously happy to know this information. And then she's like, how long do I have before Tartarus collapses? Because again, these earthquakes are going really crazy. And he's like, not long. So they go back and forth on, saving each other. He's like, you're just going to leave me down here. She's like, you're going to leave me down here, because he's still like, you cannot let the Titans out. And she's like, come with me. He's like, I can't. This is my role. And Hades gives her a kiss goodbye. And she's like, it felt very like final. But she was feeling bad because obviously this is part of her Hades. She did not want to leave him. But then Boone and the other Titans show up at the door, and Hades like, go before I change my mind, essentially. And then all of them are confused about who is glamoring them, and like they feel like they have to be down here with them. And then Lyra tells them the earthquakes are Hades trying to get her out, and they're like, okay, we need to go to the lock now. We got to get out of here.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like to you felt a long existence with something new every so often. I thank you for that. I'm like, is this like his poor?
Yeah, right.
He's trying to survive down in Tartarus and the South gets fine. Sorry, it was
I didn't highlight much. It was a good chapter that I liked that choice.
and I it's so strange, but I like the character development of AI.
That's
So
what I
he
like.
still is very like, you can tell that his brain is connected to the glamour version because he's very rigid on this.
Well, I mean, Hades is glittered. So I'd be curious to see. I mean, we all know it doesn't matter if it's in this book or the next book. Like, she's going to find a way to rip the glamour off of him. So it would have been interesting to see if AI Hades retained the original attitude, or if he truly is that interconnected that
I am interested to see what happens to the reactions of them.
It does end. I don't know if you went into the back, like that chapter ended with her back with everybody else, and that they're like, she's like, I have to go into the last level right now.
those are literally last.
I'm sorry. Like, I think I was really focused on saying.
So focused on not interrupting you that she couldn't listen to you.
It happens.
Oh, that's a big
I just normally don't follow anybody out for it. I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, we just talked about that. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully I don't take as many from his hair as already slept.
Yeah.
Is this you now, Ashley?
Ashley.
So there are literally 1, 2, 3 chapters left. They're the most emotionally torturous. However, I still think I have fewer notes than either of you two. So
What's this?
yeah. Okay. Real tears.
We could just go cry after this though, because
Yeah.
I'm a TV. You're gonna
Come
see.
back later.
I do have a note in here. It says new emotional trauma, or is it healing? To unpack with a trained professional later. Okay. So chapter 90 is Aphrodite's Lock, which they find out requires a sacrifice to test the purity of your intent. So they're all running up to the bridge so that Boone and Lyra can jump into the lock. And all of a sudden, like, they share their, like, don't die back and forth stuff. And then they're about to jump off when all of a sudden Lyra is violently pushed over the edge from behind. And she's just like falling, like, what the hell was that? And she lands in Aphrodite's Lock alone, which Boone never shows up. And she's kind of just sitting there thinking, like, what the fuck? Like, where's Boone? What's going to happen? And then she hears somebody land behind her, and it is Kronos.
She does get the fire. Like it's hot.
Which, of course, she immediately starts freaking out because she knows that if he doesn't somehow find a way.
Internal error.
Okay, so Kronos lands behind her and she is flipping script, and she knows like he's there. There's no way out of it for him, and she's begging and pleading and trying to convince him, like, no, you have to get out of here, like, you're never gonna make it. And he's like, no, I'm not. Like, I've done this 10,000 times, and I know that this is the only way. This is my sacrifice to make, which was so sad. And what's the next part? It's right before. It's not. I guess I could look at my notes. Yeah.
Have you write your hands?
Yeah. Nope. We're good. Okay. So then, Aphrodite pops up and gives the spiel that. Let me read it exactly. It was.
You said it already.
No. It's the 2 hearts must enter. 1 for the fire, 1 to be set free by the ultimate act of pure love.
1 for the fire.
Yeah.
Okay, just stop again.
Is the recording still ticking?
Just trying to reconnect.
So I'm just going to read the quote again, and then you can kick it in. So Aphrodite comes in and announcing how it starts. She says, 2 hearts must enter, 1 for the fire, 1 to be set free by that ultimate act of pure love. And then that's when Lyra's powers are sucked out. And all of a sudden, Kronos is starting to glow. And she starts to see him basically disintegrating right before her eyes. And he's getting hotter and hotter. And she's human now. So she can't get close to him. And it's heartbreaking. That was the ugly cry moment that we all had.
To the last episode.
Like, Christy, you're going to genocise. No.
I was blocking you.
All right.
Solid. That was a good one.
That's good. It does. I just haven't had.
All right. Welcome back in the middle of an episode.
We have oh, yeah.
Finish.
We have.
Got taken away.
I'm just teasering.
Yes.
We're in front room.
Hopefully better connection so we can get through the full episode. All right. So with that, we will wrap up the very end of part 7 and jump right in to part 8.
90? Are we on 90? Yeah.
Yeah, I never made it quite through 90. So I think we left off right at the...
You might need to go back just a little bit so we have the emotional impact that's necessary for this period.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. We'll just start over at chapter 90. So, chapter 90, Aphrodite's Lock. The premise of Aphrodite's Lock is that it requires a sacrifice to test the purity of your intent. So, they get to the bridge that they have to jump into, and as soon as they get there, Boone and Lyra are kind of playing back and forth with their repartee, and all of a sudden she's pushed rather violently into the lock, and she lands by herself, and Boone just never shows up, and she's starting to get worried. And then all of a sudden behind her, Kronos lands, and it is kind of in that moment that she realizes at least a little bit of what's going on. because there's no way out of the lock now that he is there. And they're all very aware that because they are gods and they are magic or whatever you call it alone, once the lock begins, he will disintegrate into nothing. Just like Themis, I think it was, wasn't it? When I first got down there. And so the short of it is Lyra is begging and pleading for him to find a way to get out of that. He says he's tried it 10,000 different ways, which could only lead me to believe that he's probably been thinking about this and trying to avoid it for each reset that they've made all the way to Aphrodite's lock, but it never actually lands. So as soon as he starts to tell her, nope, this is my sacrifice to make, I'm not going to not do it, Aphrodite pops in and gives them the rules of the lock, which is 2 hearts must enter, 1 for the fire, 1 to be set free by that ultimate act of pure love. So a simple yet terrible,
Devastating.
terrible choice to make. And of course, the choice has kind of already been made for her. And so once she does that, Lyra's powers are sucked out like normal, and Kronos begins to glow pretty bright and then slowly start to disintegrate. I definitely got the what was that Avengers movie that I never fully watched, but I saw whatever, and they just
Endgame.
yeah, they all just start fluffing off. But because she's human, he's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. I think they even compare it to when the pandemonium got Iapetus. He was turning into lava kind of. And so she can't do anything. She feels hopeless. And Kronos is telling her, all these encouraging things. And he gives her the little butterfly carving that Hades made for him. And
I think that's when I officially started crying.
yeah, this was I think I read this at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was alone. And I was this is the saddest thing ever. Why is this happening? Yeah. And so as soon as he officially kind of just cremates all the way, Aphrodite pops in and is congratulations. You have unlocked my lock. And I think she says, you are free of the prison of Tartarus.
Yeah.
You've been tested and proven worthy.
Yeah. And so the lock door opens behind her, and the bridge over the abyss appears, and she looks behind her, and that's when Rhea's yelling for Kronos when they realize that she's the only one left in the lock. And when she looks back again toward the bridge, it kind of opens view, and the gate that actually locks them in is now open. And that's how that one ends. But yeah, I said a lot of details in that, and I was terribly sad.
Yeah, at the beginning, Boone and Persephone are now coupley and happy. I think when we were having technical difficulties earlier, talked about how they were both ready to jump in together. Boone and Lyra were, and Kronos held him back and shoved her.
Yeah.
She just sat there and waited for him.
Yeah, and I think he goes into even more detail on that in the next one.
Yeah.
And I highlighted before Kronos makes the swap, Lyra and Boone are talking, and Lyra's are you sure, to Boone? Whoever glared at us wanted us to go in there together. What if it trails off?
Yeah.
The trails.
Well, and through the whole lock, I'm sitting there thinking who could have done this? Because it doesn't explain that yeah, he said it's his sacrifice or whatever, but it doesn't really clarify that he pushed her in for that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So for all we know, someone could have pushed her in and disappeared him away, and they don't know what's going on. So,
right,
Kronos jumped in so that she wouldn't die.
Yeah.
In this lock.
When I was going through it, I felt all of her emotion with when he starts it was my choice to be here.
Yeah.
She's no, you can't be here. Yeah. I know what he's doing. I had a really hard time. You can't be down here. I can see her just begging him not to have made this choice that she knows.
breaking.
And the other part about it is and they talk about, your coworkers, you become best friends because you're trauma bonded together with all the crazy. They're literally inmates in this underworld prison, and she's never had loving parents in any of her lifetimes.
Yeah.
And there's this guy that is always in her corner. And then she's like, well, shit.
Not to mention the fact that Hades has gone all this time in his life without his dad
Yeah.
because he hates him.
Mhm.
And that's all she wanted to do was bring him back.
And once he gets that veil lifted, that he's
Yeah.
I want to.
Which she does bring that up, since we already said we were doing spoilers later. Anyways. She does bring that up. Yeah, I think in the next chapter or
No, this one.
Freya.
This one, she said, "Oh, well,
Are you gonna go to without your father who loves you?"
yeah."
Yeah.
Well, and I wanted to bring up for food for thought before he even jumps down. She's just noticing boom. So she's like taking in the scenery, and she says, "If I didn't know better, I'd say Hephaestus created this room for Aphrodite. It looks exactly like the volcanic forger's god's taste, but he didn't exist yet when the Titans were trapped down here. Did Aphrodite have the original power over fire?"
I remember seeing that too.
So that might be her extra.
Yeah. I think of
This would go hand in hand with love, passion,
Yeah.
fire.
or maybe she's like, it's like the underworld stuff. Like some of God's powers overlap. I have a feeling she has something that's like a combination of literally everything.
Even if Aphrodite's not,
Oh, she's definitely somehow
there's
smacked out.
there's things we need to know about. Like she's definitely setting up Aphrodite to be an important character in the next book.
Yeah. Okay.
Well,
I'm not that.
I'm not either.
Okay.
Like his goodbyes. He's known for a long time. This is the only way. He compares it to like everything he did for Isabel. Like I've tried it so many different ways. It's the only way. A father should always be the one who sacrifices for his child.
And he does call her. He says, "Thought of you as a daughter again. I've always thought of you as a daughter."
Yeah. What did he? There was something he specifically says, and I'm like,
Oh, but her response when she says, "Father, don't go."
yes.
Yeah, I think I remember that too.
Tell my children that their faces are the images I held on to when I die. Tell them I always loved them. When you're ready, when you need me, it does say, come find me in my cell. So that our cell, in our cell, yes. Which is their cells.
That one
The cover.
Oh, the ice cream shop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I pictured it as half the size of Harry Potter's room.
Yeah. He says like it's really small.
Like you can't lay down in it.
It's all I had highlighted for this one. But it was very intense. Getting my fuzzy socks off. Already hot.
My toes are frozen. Literally, like they hurt. They're so cold.
My toes are still,
But the rest of me is hot.
Yeah. I struggled with that. But then I was like, and now she's out. And
it was like so close.
I thought you were talking about cold feet. What?
I'm sorry. I'm so now she's out. And it's like, how do you get over the shock of that to actually do the next thing that you need to do?
Mhm.
And like, she's an emotional human. She's just not been a goddess for long.
Which I was wondering, I thought there was going to be more to that lock. I'm like, how is she going to go through the whole lock? So it was like refreshing, I guess, for it just to be over with that.
I mean, I would hope so. Like, you have to kill somebody you love immensely.
Yeah.
Well, imagine
Now you have to face a dragon.
Yeah, and then you don't survive that one.
Yeah.
Time reset, and now you have to have somebody else.
Fall in love with somebody. What if you only like one person? Love one person.
Yeah.
There's your ass a stud.
You just sort of
Yeah.
make a little light of it,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think bingo.
Yeah.
Very heartbreaking.
Okay. Chapter 91 is inheritance, which as soon as I saw the title of this, like I knew exactly. Like I already
What a tie back.
yeah.
Did it mention like, how are you doing this?
Hmm.
Did you take my father's powers?
Yeah. And it's like it's all
Yeah, I
Three
had
side
already
together.
started when he brought up my father's powers. I was like, oh shit,
yeah.
Is he dead?
Yeah.
I was like, that's the worst foreshadow ever.
Yeah.
I was starting to piece together and just like crossing my fingers the whole time.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
And he didn't. But the positive is we have time on our side, so she can go see him whenever she wants. Hopefully, she can bring Hades with her. I don't know how extreme the power is
You're talking about it.
yet.
Okay. So at the beginning of this chapter, she's facing the Titans, and it's when she kind of starts to break down. And Boone comes up, and that's when she finds out that Kronos is the one that pushed her and pulled him back. And she's going through her own internal monologue, and she's like, yeah, it totally makes sense. Like he did that because if Boone had gone down there, like I would have had to make the decision to sacrifice him. and like I wouldn't have survived it. And so as they're talking, all of a sudden, like she's struck with like this bright light, and I picture it as like very dramatic, kind of like when Storm and X-Men, like where she's up and her feet are like, her arms are just like, she's like
to that.
she's lifted off her
Like a
feet.
beast.
Maybe that. I was definitely thinking of
Beauty
stealth,
and the Beast.
but I feel like that happens a lot in any kind of this
Yeah.
type of scenario.
So she describes it as like the light is trying to consume her. And then all of a sudden, there are a ton of light cracks that start to appear in front of and around her. She describes it like they are encircling her. And then all of a sudden, they all start to kind of meld together. So they come in one at a time into the next one. And instead of getting bigger, they're getting smaller. And she realizes that it's actually repairing the rift, that all the rifts that were made throughout the...
Before she starts to like figure that out, she's like, how is Kronos doing this from the future if he's dead?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the start of her
Yeah.
piecing that together.
Yeah.
And maybe
That's
that
fabulous.
been the crack the whole time because it was her, but she didn't have the power. Kronos held the power, but it was her fissures.
Like she put, I don't know. I still think that Kronos over time created them, but they were broken, right? Like he had to break it to get to where they were.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. We'll learn more about it.
Raya did say it, I think early on, that Kronos was able to like crack time
Mm-hmm.
to some extent. But he definitely did it as a way to try and get out of the situation, I think.
Yeah.
But then
Well, I was
was manipulated later.
talking
but
about
she-
the big one.
Okay.
Okay. Where Persephone takes her like early in, and she's like, "Here's this huge crack that had never been here before."
That crack in the building, not the cracks in time.
No, I thought it was time.
No.
It would shine. It's just the crack.
That was the
Physical
foundation.
damage. Yeah.
Got
Cracks.
Sorry, I got off.
Yeah.
No, that was me.
I mean, I saw it.
All we know is it wasn't me. As they all kind of consume one another is the best way. It gets smaller and smaller until it becomes a tiny little orb. And then it basically just like goes into her. I assume in the chest. It doesn't really talk about where. And she feels it like become a part of her. And I think she says that she absorbed it. Like she was able to absorb it and the power in it. And she owns it now.
It stops like here. And that's where she fears, like she feels her fear. Oh my God. She feels her fear going. She feels light and she feels calm, like in there familiar.
Yeah.
Like I almost feel like it feels like Kronos
Yeah.
is there with her.
Well, in the next part, so when Rhea comes up to her, like, so she accepts the power or whatever, and then she's like lowered down to her feet, and Rhea walks over and puts her hands on her face and like looks really deep into her eyes and is like, there you are. I picture it in like a lover's, like a,
Yeah.
You haven't seen them in so long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, Rhea, but I still don't trust her. She gives me weird vibes right now. Anyways, and then she smiles, which is important because I feel like, Lyra's so stressed that Rhea's going to blame her and all of that. But it's very clear that Rhea understands. She did this and this was the only way.
Yeah.
This is the endless sadness and the weight of it makes my heart ache.
Yeah. Oh, right after that, Rhea tells them, behold, the new goddess of time. So that's official. Like, I feel like,
Which thank God they didn't make us guess.
Oh my God.
yeah, like,
leave us at that.
yeah. I mean, there was only so much time left to make us guess. Like,
Sorry, I'm moving.
yeah, that was a pretty short chapter. I think I got everything, but
Yeah, I don't think I had
That
you didn't.
all she can see out of the door is the smoke and fire. And she says it's the smoke. Is a casing around an inner body of brilliant blue fire. So she does mention that aspect of like what is waiting
Yeah.
for them outside of Tartarus. And I think that's really the only thing that we missed. He knew he would never see his wife again.
No, yeah.
Never see his children again.
And didn't tell anybody. She's like, it was clear, like, that nobody knew what he was planning.
yeah.
So it's more that, again, like, I'm interested to see in the next book, maybe go more into depth, like, when did he know?
I'd rather just leave it there.
Like, was it, like, the whole thing? Like, so it was new and fresh. Like, he had the thought, but that solidified it? Or has it been solidified for so long?
I think the realization was when she pulled the glamour off of Phoebe, and she said they weren't
That's
faded.
what I mean.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, I see that from, I don't know, I'm seeing that this Lyra is different than past iterations of Lyra's he's had. And like,
Mhm.
he has gotten to, I don't know if she's always like this, but like gotten to see how deeply she loves and like how she feels about her friend. And I think part of it is him not wanting to put her through that.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Like, I feel like that's part of it, but I also think that he told us, like, I've tried this 10,000 different ways.
Yeah.
Like, there is no other way.
Yeah.
They have to send somebody down there. And she loved him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, probably the only actual real.
But still, it's like she also loved Boone, and Boone would have survived.
No, one was for the fire. He would have burned alive.
No matter what, it was a sacrifice.
Oh, I thought he was still gonna die, or he would have been mortal by that time.
One is for the fire.
Yeah, their powers get stripped away, and then he would have, like, she would not have opened the door without that sacrifice.
Yeah.
That's why it made it even more. Frankie, I was gonna cry again.
Thank God we just started drinking.
You'd be done for otherwise.
Yeah, I would literally be on camera.
I feel like we should just like lock that one up and move on.
Yeah.
92, Gods of Death. Rand and Lyra are talking, and Rand is trying to comfort Lyra, I think, to some extent, and reminds her that, you know, the power of time was Kronos' gift to her, and to essentially not take light of his sacrifice. So, like, don't ruin what he sacrificed.
Honor it.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of took it as like, stop it. Like, let it go. It's just,
But also, like, how amazing of her to be able to do that in that moment.
yeah.
Like, you're faded, like, made,
You're supposed to have immortality together.
and you've been stuck in prison, and you were one step away from seeing your kids. That's all you've talked about. for these
Everything you suffered
millennia.
together.
And he's just gone. And she's still like, don't worry. That's crazy.
Yeah. It's definitely not ideal.
Definitely mature.
I hope after millennia, we would all be.
So we're
You're not wrong.
the men. True. That's so.
I don't know. Athena's kind of she's a bitch. Look what she did to Medusa. Anyways. All right. So all of a sudden there's a huge quake, and they realize that basically like the ceiling, but obviously the ceiling is like
Very high.
very high. It's all crumbling down. And it starts to fall, and all of a sudden Hades appears and is like holding it up off of them. And they basically all have to skedaddle, and they run for open gate. And Lyra looks back, like when they all get out, she looks back and like he's just like there holding it up, and then he like lets it go.
When he tells her, go to him.
Yeah. All right. That's sad. So with all of the emotional strife they've all been through, they turn around and they're not alone. And all of the gods of the underworld and death. So if any variation, any sect, whatever, all of those gods are there. So basically all the ones that met up with Hades at the very beginning of this was like, we're not going to let you let them out. All of them are there. And Anubis seems to kind of be their spokesperson, which is just ironic considering his appearance. But
With his jackal head.
yeah, like
It's weird as fuck.
like
What she said.
of all the characters,
Lyra.
like I think she even says like it's really weird to watch his like
She said,
jackal mouth. Like
she says, it's weird as fuck.
and so he tells her, you know, she's needed urgently at Olympus, and he's like, he will kill us all, talking about Hades. And then he kind of fades in with Zeus is all ready. And she's like, wait a second, is Zeus dead? Like, he's never going to forgive himself. And that, you know, everyday spiral she goes down. And so then he addresses the Titans and says that they cannot allow the Titans of Tartarus to live outside of their prison. Like Lyra, I think that's when Lyra's like, all right, so there's no like useful way to get out of this. Like, it's gonna come down to a fight, because at
It's
first,
a no matter what situation.
yeah, because at first, you know, Titans did their usual, like, I don't want to hurt anybody. We're not going to, you know, get in a fighting stance or anything like that. Which clearly peaceful, you know, negotiation is not the ways of gods. But and then so the Korean god of the underworld, not even gonna try and pronounce what his name was. It's the one that starts with a Y.
Yanma.
Glad I'm not sure.
Yeah.
That's our family. In case that lands in there.
So
She loves my dad. Okay. So the Korean guy comes up to Lyra and says, "Don't worry, you're safe now. You need to go to your lover. You need to come with us and go to your lover." It was just so weird. Like,
just go stop your lover.
oh, is that what it says?
Yeah, go stop him. You go, I'm glad you came here to help us.
Yeah.
And you're finally here to help us. Yay.
Yeah, they're right. Or whatever. Lyra's like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And so it ends with her saying, "You misunderstand. We will stay here to protect the Titans. ... from you."
Well, and just to add to that, she says this is the only god Hades was afraid of that could kill him. And he,
The Korean god. Yes.
oh, sorry. Although,
Yeah, Ereshkigal. She's the only one that's not there.
You're right. Because she did that with a woman.
is the only one not here and the one that could kill him.
Someone's smart enough not to invite her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
She said, like, that would be bad news for literally everybody.
Yeah.
Back whenever like they first are face to face, Lyra notes that she can see all of their glamours.
Yeah.
And all, so like that kind of proves her. I don't think she's proven that yet. That all of the
right.
the others. I said the other
How did they classify them?
Pantheons, right?
Gods of death.
Yeah.
Of all the underworld.
Yeah. That she can see all of them, and that the Titans are all in like really just nonsense, not like no nonsense armor. It's like that's what it's job is for. Where all all the gods are like super ridiculous. There's gaudy. And then Rhea's lions, which I didn't know anything about Rhea's lions.
No.
They surprised me. Like, do you know Rhea has lions?
And they were just hiding out in the underworld this whole time.
Like
she was like,
Mommy,
wonder if Hades
Yeah, when
knew
our
they were here.
ladies is here.
My babies, you waited for me.
Theodore would wait for me.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The only other thing is Hell's voice is gentle. Essentially, she's like trying to like cast a spell like come to us.
Yeah. It makes sense with Norse.
Yeah, and she's just like, haha, God, goddess of the underworld too.
Oh, yeah. It's almost like she tried to compel her.
Yeah. I think she's
Yeah.
trying to compel her.
Yeah, and so she like,
Yeah, bitch.
but it reminded me
Yeah.
of the Volturi.
Yes.
Yeah, like you can't get to me.
They're very cute.
Yeah,
That was the end of part 7.
Yep. That was the end.
We have part 8.
I think we just roll right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so too.
Rolling right into part 8, burn it all down. I promise we'll never do that again.
Never.
Only because it's like, it's not necessary, man.
Yeah. Last words, but I'm reminding. All right. So I'm a failure, and my children didn't let me get notes taken. So this is going to be interesting. What chapter is that? Am I here?
93.
I'm 96. All right. So 93 was The Departed. This is the beginning of a battle. Lee, Cat, Hecate, they're all like hot.
I just think of the beer.
Hecate, I don't even know like where to start here. Like she's telling everybody, like, don't hurt the gods.
Mm-hmm.
They're glamored. It's not their fault. Like she's trying so much, prevent bloodshed, and starts to get bewildered because nobody's coming after her. Like she fully expects to be part of the fight because she's standing with the Titans.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody is just raging around her.
She says, as if I'm the Moses of the Bible, the other guards
Yeah.
are around me like the Red Sea.
I chuckled at that part.
Me too. So what does she say? She realizes she has her tattoos and her axes back and everything, and uses her tattoos to send them to so that Olympus to tell Hades she's out, which hopefully, he would be receptive of that because she's the only one that has them. And the fact that they're present at all would mean that she's out of Tartarus.
And they were his forever, so like they have a connection
Yeah.
to him to get through to him.
Right. So we're hoping there that we have this immediate connection there. Let's see. She comments on the fight itself, that wars, you imagine people fighting on the ground, like hand-to-hand combat, and this is people flying and teleporting and using all the breakthroughs of magic in just utter chaos. There's a hippo chasing the lions. There's wind, water, darkness, fire, seas. And everybody in harmony. Yeah.
It's ass foolishness.
Lyra's trying to get everybody to just teleport and hide, like go somewhere where they can't find you, so we can at least like hold this off for some time. And that does nothing. Hecate, Hecate. She attacks Nemesine, and let's see, you're looking up how to.
I'm definitely going to.
I guess I missed that she has 3 heads, and she's attacking Nemesine.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, they're all kind of just attacking each other.
Hecate.
Can you let it say it?
No. Hecate.
Hecate.
We're all wrong.
That is the
Hecate.
weirdest way to say
I
that.
would not say that either. Hecate. I'm gonna say that as a slur.
Hecate.
Listen.
Hecate.
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 No, Hecate.
Hecate.
Let's see. There's a scythe, which is we found out is the only way you can kill a Titan. Yes, because that's what Uranus was killed with. And it could belong to so many of the gods and goddesses here. They don't know who. I guess maybe they all have a scythe for this kind of circumstance.
I don't feel like
I don't think so.
that because it sounded like when we found out it was the only way to kill a god, it sounded like it was the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, they're in the ocean, no. He did something bad. But Oceanus is the ocean, so I mean, he very easily could have retreated.
Yeah.
Let's see. Y'all feel free to jump in and help me.
Honestly, I would just like consider all this fighting. It's like
There's fighting.
all
Yeah.
like teaming up, switching.
Yeah. And like there's a lot of banter between them.
I think the most
Like they're trying to get Lyra out of there. She wants to fight somebody so bad.
Someone better fucking fight me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can picture her being like a little.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, no. And then what's his face? Hermes.
Mm-hmm.
Hermes like approaches Boone and is friggin' pissed because he's petty and Boone took his powers away. So they're fighting. I guess they don't care if Boone gets fought. I'm worried about it. She's worried about Boone getting killed. Phoebe is fighting Hell. They used to be friends apparently. And let's see, the little weird water. I was trying to picture the water situation, right? So they have Hell trapped in water. And Lyra wants them to like get her head out so she can pull the glamour off of her and maybe see if she can get some like traction there, get one of them unveiled. And she does something called Hand of Glory to Tethys and kills her. And Lyra remembers that. What is it that she can do? It's just part of her power is like
Hell can kill any living being she wants with her touch away.
I can just hear her shouting, "Hand of Glory!" No,
Yeah.
A little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the only thing I was gonna add for that is I think Hell, when they traveled back to the original battle, I think Hell was Phoebe's best friend. When they're like, she's like hiding in the woods.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's talking. So yeah, Phoebe's like, remember me, because she's obviously like we're
Yeah.
Yes. And I think she even, she talks about it. And like, she's just like, what did you do?
Yeah.
And obviously Hell doesn't feel any remorse at this point. And then we have chapter 94, Nightmares.
I'm so excited about that.
yeah.
But Thea, because Tethys is Thea's sister, right?
Think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So Thea is losing it. And then gets injured. They're fighting. Anubis actually finally brings Lyra into the action, backhands her, like make her fly across the room. So you have Thea, Phoebe, and Iapetus against these gods.
Well, and this is when also Lyra's like, wait, none of them are using a weapon on me.
Yeah. They absolutely, yeah.
Oh, did I skip?
No, I just let them there.
Oh, sorry.
Slow.
I skipped ahead. My bad.
Slow.
I thought I saw you move to this page.
I didn't do my work, so please just jump in whenever you want. I've got a failing rate this time, sorry. And so, yeah, I think that, it's funny that she said it out loud to herself, but that realization is like, I'm going to do something stupid.
Yeah, I'm gonna go all out.
Yeah, I need to get somebody's attention. I need some dramatics here.
Mhm.
So, she is like, this is going to hurt. She teleports right in front of Hell where she's thrusting her sword. And she thrusts it straight into her. And Hell and Anubis, both of them were like, God, what just happened? Why did I do that? You crazy bitch, why'd you do that? You're the only one that could stop him. And she's like, I'm the only one that can stop you. That's when she pulled his glamour ways, right? So she grabs
both of them.
Yeah. So Hell and Anubis, she grabs their glamours and he's just like, oh my, can you imagine like what would flood into you?
Oh my gosh, I know.
I feel like they recover really well from it.
All of them. Yeah.
It's even better. They're running the underworlds of all their little
Yeah.
areas. Like, they better get their shit together.
But it's a big thing. It's been how many years? Like, I don't know if they say exactly how long, but like that's a lot of years to be thinking that these people are evil.
Not to mention, can you imagine, like, you have this huge ego, like, I'm the big underboss.
Yeah.
Well, joke's on you. Like,
And it's like this is the biggest like monument to their entire existence.
Yeah. And it's what their world has been built around.
Yeah.
Is that,
Tartarus.
yeah, and the
Them present.
anger and the hatred between the two groups.
Mhm.
Do you guys remember like all of the veils always like burning?
Mhm.
Okay. So I didn't know if that was significant that they like burn
Yeah.
in
They
hissing
just-
smoke. Okay.
Yeah.
Elle really gets hit because she cared for Tethys and realizes she killed Tethys very recently. And that's when Lyra tells them they've been glamored to believe something that wasn't true. None of them know how it's possible. She tries to get them to protect the Titans so she can get everybody else's glamours off. And that's when Cerberus shows up. Right? What's going on about her?
Yeah.
Hey, Lyra, you're here. So Cerberus felt her enter their underroom. And he goes, but I felt that before. So it's like,
yeah.
I guess Cerberus knew this feeling.
You guys knew something was going on, but not
Yeah.
quite what.
Yeah.
He's only a puppy dog. There. So let's see. Now I got myself confused because I was thinking about a puppy dog. Oh, the glamours. So Cerberus doesn't believe her about the glamours, but Anubis backs her up. And they continue to try to get all of the gods in the situation. They're trying to figure out how to do it all at once because of everything that's going on. And everybody is like, Hades needs you, you need to leave. Hades needs you, you need to leave. But she feels this like strong responsibility for it. And I love it because the nightmares showed up. And if you all do not remember, they were from the very first lock. And they pretty much made Lyra their queen. They knew what they were looking at. And they liked it. So
It was creepy.
she tells them to stop the gods from attacking them, but don't harm them and bring them to her. They said it'll only take moments, and literally it's like a blink. And they're there in front of us. Each of them has a god and is just holding them. I like them. That is, I know.
Yeah. And she even has the thought of like, I should definitely set some ground rules before I, let us just move on about their lives.
These guys can be dangerous to me a little bit. And like they can hold I think it's because of their nightmares, right? Like they're not only holding their bodies, they've got
Like the same thing.
like screwing with that.
Yeah.
And she gets all of the veils removed. Right? Yeah, she takes every single one off. And so they're just so shockingly confused. And Lyra's like, we're good. You need to go to Hades now. And we can't go with you because we shouldn't be seen yet. Like that would just cause absolute chaos.
Yeah.
The gods who still believe this lie see all the Titans. It's not going to make anything better.
Yeah.
And a lot of them would probably die.
It would have been worse than the Anaxian Wars.
Yeah, there would have been so much death.
Yeah.
Because the hatred is very, very lived in. And so Lyra is like, I'm going to go. She calls her daughter, Rhea's, go daughter, don't let Cronus' sacrifice be in vain. Time can't reset now that it's been healed and it's yours. And show Hades that you're safe. Stop him before he does more than try to dig your body out of the rubble. I liked that she's like, I don't know how to like get to him. And she says, just let him see you, truly see you.
Yeah.
Which was,
Yeah.
Mama always knows best.
I mean, not always, but Venus bucket lives.
So I did want to add, I thought was interesting and like WTF moment. Maybe I misread it the first time, so y'all correct me. But when she's taken off the glamours of a couple of them, and then all of a sudden, Miyamaro comes in for and God, and it's the fifth king of the underworld, and he has like a book, and he's saying, my mind is trying to tell me the Titans are evil and deserve imprisonment, but the book is showing something else, the book of judgment. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, why they've escaped Tartarus. This book has been in y'all's possession all this time, and now is the moment before she pulls your glamour that you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Well, it's also probably one of those things that like he wasn't trying to wait judgment on them because the Olympians are the ones that took care of the Titans.
Like made to circus, not my
Yeah.
face.
Like they do
Yes,
credit for the
but it's so crazy.
There's
Nobody like it's like sitting here in this book or whatever.
I feel like that book is not like just that like I can go check it out the library.
No, but all these
Yeah.
gods.
no, that's part of his shtick.
Like, that's his book.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like, okay, interesting timing to just throw
Right.
that in there. Like, one for Abigail.
And there was that
like,
for grab whoever.
Is this really important? You could have left that out. We didn't need that in tidbit unless like he's going to be important
Yeah.
at some other point.
Who is this
Probably
guy?
have
Literally
to do the
just
third
heard
one.
him. That was hilarious.
Besides, I guess it kind of like makes everybody stop because he's like,
Yeah.
that's the book without removing the glamour, but still, it's just like,
Mira's like, haha, they missed something.
yeah, again, like the timing of it. Like, you couldn't have found that out like months ago. And did they ever say how long she was in Darkness? I don't remember. No. Okay.
I don't think so. Well, because they bring it up later. She does say, like, I never asked. Like, that was not something I actually asked. I'm looking now, Christy.
For what?
95. Is that yours or mine?
I think it's mine. I only did 2.
You're through 96.
Cool. All right.
It felt like longer.
I feel so unprepared. Are you getting like extra inches?
I'm like going with you too,
Okay.
so I'll jump in.
Thank you, darling. Thank you.
Yes.
Like, and so they're just like, well, I don't know how to get out of the underworld. Like, it didn't even see like super easy to Hades. It took him 3 teleports, and Cerberus is still there where they're like, he cannot see me. He thinks I'm attempting to stop him. He already took several swipes at me, and he was not joking. I picture it in like a very like a dog voice. Like,
Yeah.
Doug from Up, and he was not joking.
Yeah.
I was definitely thinking Clifford the big red dog, but
That too.
That's cute. I don't know what Clifford sounds like, honestly.
I'll play it for you later.
And then Hermes offers to take Lyra up, and she's like, doesn't trust him, obviously. Like, are you going to dump me in a pit somewhere?
Right.
And it's like, since this is important, everybody needs Hades to stop. Like, literally everybody in the world needs us to stop. The fact that Tartarus is crumbling is a huge indicator that bad shit's going to happen because you have the pillars that hold up the world. So yeah, she says, take me to Hades. And how many times did it say? It took 9 teleports to get out of the underworld and then 1 more to get to Olympus. And she says, Holy Mother Goddess Gaia, because she's at the top of the mountain in Olympus where Hermes' crucible labor was. And it is just a shit show of horror is what she's of horror. And she says apocalyptic proportions. Everything is destroyed. The waterfalls are like just plumes of water in the air with the different colors. And the source of the tentacles digging through Tartarus is at that main temple. It's coming from that main temple. I figure you're just like giant smoke octopus just like covering all of Olympus.
And all coming from the big throne that Zeus got all gross on.
Right. I picture like his chicken buckets.
Yeah.
On the side. Like, did you guys picture him like with just like buckets of KFC, or was that just me when
No, I
talking about how
definitely,
gross he was?
I definitely saw some baklava on plates in my head.
Or something more Greek. Makes sense.
Oh, that makes me want.
Doing a hot dog. Yes. And then one of those tentacles is down the statue of Hades that goes down the river Styx. And that's the one she thinks is he's using to get down to Tartarus. And all she can see is ruin and rubbles under those. None of them can get outside of the temple. So he tells her that teleporting is like useless. Don't try it. His smoke is also like just seeking them out, finding them immediately. And she tries to get in to get the others to stand down so she has a fighting chance. If Hades is being attacked, he's going to obviously think he's being attacked. And Ares comes up. We don't like Ares. I don't know if y'all remember this.
No, and no reference to Ares of any kind of like fiction or nonfiction retelling. Like, he's just a dick.
Yeah, and she just has like the little flashback of him breaking her little orb thing.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the Crucible, like deterring her from being able to complete the challenge at the beginning.
It was Hermes.
No, it was Ares. It was Ares.
That makes sense.
He like is like you need to get out here and stop him. He's happy to see her. They kind of go into how impenetrable it is, and like what they've tried to get in. And she asked for Aphrodite. Like, can you send me Aphrodite then? Because I know like you don't want me to go unharmed. She's the only one that could help me because Hades doesn't want any of the other ones near.
To add to this section part is Ares says, maybe I've never seen him like this, wild, unhinged, even when he leveled them up Olympus before. And she says, because that was a controlled burn.
Right. Like he knew exactly what he figured out that piece of her being what causes him to completely lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh. And then she, at that same thing, she says, he'll stop but he has to feel safe for him to stop. So to help her, like, and to make them feel better, she asked for Aphrodite. Why did she say, don't forget to hum?
She's like reminding herself not to.
Why am I missing the knot? No, I read it so many times. I missed the knot because of the double negative.
Yeah.
And she's about to get closer, and that's when her panther comes out, and he's
hurt.
hurt. And then we get the fox is unconscious, the owl is got a broken wing, and the tarantula's hanging out on the owl's shoulder unharmed because
He was probably like, no, fuck
Yeah.
this. Let's be real.
I get it.
and she thanks them because they sacrificed themselves. It's bizarre that he didn't recognize their signatures. Like that kind of indicates what kind of situation he's in. And she's already starting to try to call out into the abyss that, like, I'm here, it's me. That's when Aphrodite finds her. This is where she finds out that he's actually killed Zeus. And so I think that Aphrodite's quite a bit shaken. And they're asked her to help hide her so she can get closer. She's like, he doesn't want me there. Like, I can't help you. And I like what they do. But she's like explaining all the reason is turned off. So like all the other gods have tried from the other pantheons. Ashley told me that's the word. And it's some good stuff.
I definitely did not think that.
You've said it before. Like other
Oh, I was like,
pantheons.
I have definitely not told you this.
And she asked her if she's tried love. And so that's what they're going to go with. She's going to try to see if Aphrodite can project her love to Hades to break through it.
Well, don't like this plan.
I just want to add, because we theorize Aphrodite has like a big part in this, that she's like, what have you tried? And she goes through all these things, and she's like, no, what have you tried? Because they have such a special bond, and they're the closest. She's the closest to Hades.
Yep.
And she's like, me, I'm not a warrior. She's like, no, I need love. Like,
she told him that's the first thing she tried. But she says she blinks and shakes her head. Like she had to think about it. So did she actually try it?
No, I don't like her. I'm telling you.
But she says he couldn't knock me away, but I also couldn't push through. So it was just like a steal. But yeah, so that's when she says, well, what about my love? Can you tap into it? Can you project it? And so they decide to try it. I like this. What do I do now? Think a happy thought. And she goes, I'm all out of pixie dust. I always like this little fight. So they start to move together to try to like have Lyra cover up the fact that Aphrodite's there. And all of the normal things like, I love you, don't come see me. That doesn't work. Like just hearing the voice is not going to work. And so at the end, it's like, it didn't ripple. Like whenever it didn't get angry, it was because, what did she say? What did that happen here?
I felt like every time it recognized her a little bit is when it was rippling.
Oh, the Hades. So
yeah,
it rippled when she just said Hades, right?
Yeah. It's like it's an extension of him and his powers. And so it's like it is recognizing to some extent.
Yeah.
And it didn't ripple her or anybody else.
Yeah.
No. That was like a good indicator that maybe there's a chance.
But then it grows angry.
Yeah.
Like he's being tricked.
Yeah.
Doesn't believe it.
Right. And she just tells her to make him hear her. And then in chapter 9, do we need to go into that?
I was just going to add silence here because I've now forgotten. Again, tying back to Aphrodite. To me, they all know he's doing this for Lyra. So how would they not think about faking Lyra? So like, how did Aphrodite not be like, let's focus on the love he has for Lyra? Which, okay, maybe she's an idiot, or maybe she was intentionally.
Or maybe they were all
could not do it.
deathly terrified of him finding out they tricked him.
Probably would have leveled.
Well, that too. But it's like she acts like she didn't even think about it.
Yeah. I feel like her.
She tried very hard, honestly.
Yeah,
That's
no,
my
like
thing.
she seemed overly like naive about it.
Which could just be like, okay, you didn't think about it. It was chaotic. Or it could be.
Well,
Or
it
be.
she acts like she has no self-confidence. And like, sure, I'm sure that like,
Dixie blonde.
yeah, she was very
Like
much
she brought that in first spoke to.
She did, but she also like, you can't tell me that of all these millennia that you haven't learned some kind of confidence.
Yes,
like you may not think you're the biggest, baddest crayon in the box, but like, you have value.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that. Like, to me, he's doing this for Lyra. So like, how are we getting to him through Lyra.
Yeah.
And his love for Lyra or something, right? Like that would be the natural first thought.
Yeah.
Like, to me.
Or can we get her out of there?
Well, right. Like,
Like,
exactly.
go open the door.
Mhm.
Do
But they couldn't.
something. But
Really, I guess.
anyhow.
Last